Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Enough channel. In this video we're going to do AFL Supercoach team updates going into the official practice games, so sort of the week between the informal inter-club games and the formal AFL preseason week. But before we do, just a quick shout out to those who have got on board. We have now successfully filled the head-to-head league. So thanks to those that have jumped in. The Open League's still available if you do want to be involved. So I've got 35 teams currently. Yeah, it'd be great to get to 50, but again, not sure how many people watch these videos, given that this is mostly a NRL-based channel. But in saying that, have a look at the team, and I guess it's not a normal preseason if you haven't done a full backflip at some stage. So when we look at the team, the top of it's not too different. We've got Nas at D1. I think maybe previously he was out, but he's back in at the moment. Connor Rozee at D2. I have upgraded from Colby McKercher to Tom McCarthy. And I guess part of that is just sort of fitting in players that I like more. Not that I don't like Colby McKercher, but a big fan of what Tom McCarthy does. So I wanted to get him in. And then I got Blackiston in. So 295k for essentially starting ruck there at Essendon. Potentially could be solo ruck too. So we'll talk more about rucks in a bit. But yeah, I wanted to get him into the team, so I've managed to fit him in. Grill and Farrow both look the goods, so happy to play them on field to start. Sarong and Jake's on the bench, probably the two cheaper options. The midfield, so Butters, M1, Sarong and Goulden, sort of those underpriced premiums. Hayden Young and Parrish, the mid prices. Then Hewland, Sharp, Jagger Smith. Brody, Rechko, Carroll on the bench, cheap options that allow a bit more movement with the rest of the team. And so I guess the rest of the team is where there is big changes. So initially I was very high on rucks and thought the ruck rules won't mean too much. But I've since backflipped. So you can see I've still gone with Luke Jackson, just with, I guess, his more of a midfielder type play. So he'll probably rack up stats outside of hitouts. The emergence of Lachlan McAndrew, I've locked him into R2, which is a controversial take. But again, it's sort of in line with the ultimate theme that I've run with, which is to do things a bit differently, have a good time with it, pick the guys that I like. And then I've got Liam Reedy at R3. Obviously, I could shave off a bit and go with an absolute nuff here. But sounds like, he might get a bit of a game time with Pitnet R1 there at Carlton. But he's only one injury away from getting some serious game time. So, and he does offer a little bit of flexibility, particularly once the first lot of DPPs come in and we've got Blackiston that could flex in and out of there as well. And so I guess then the big change and where all that money that we've sort of cut in other places has gone to is the forward line. And I guess initially I was just bringing in a couple of extra guys just because I didn't really like a lot of the cheapies there. Forward cheapies can be a bit hit and miss. And then I just had this idea of what if we lock in, probably 6 keeper forwards to start the season, and then we work the trades around the rest of the team. So maybe a bit of a controversial take there, but we're going to run it, I think, and see how it goes. But then again, I said we were going to run with 3 premium rucks as well, so it can all change yet again. But at the moment, I've got Harry Sheezel locked in, Petrarca's locked in. I have brought in Phil Thorpe and Cozzy Pickett as probably, 2 keepers that I would target towards the end of the season. Bit of chat that Phil Thorpe's going to play like a Luke Jackson sort of midfield role as a extra tall guy. So yeah, pretty keen to get a bit of that action. And Cozzy Pickett with the sort of exodus there at Melbourne of Petrarca and Oliver, maybe that creates some midfield time for him. So chasing a bit of upside there, but um, happy to roll the dice. Flanders and Philippou. So again, bit of people sort of hoping Philippou can get to keeper status. He may eventually get upgraded to Darcy. I think would be probably the top six if you include Flanders in that. Um, so I think Philippou could get pretty close. So top 10 sort of forward. So at his price, it makes sense to start him. Lombard and Robinson, I think, will generate good cash. I've got a couple of queries over like Marshall. Where does he sit in the pecking order? Um, I know a few people going with Titler. I think it is from West Coast, but he is a bit more expensive at 190. Um, so, yeah, I'm happy to just leave those guys on the bench do their thing. In saying that, I have currently got a forward in the flex, so I have about 300k left. Um, and Buderick come up as an option. Um, so listed as a forward, but sounds like he's going to play a defensive role at the Bulldogs, which might lead to a bit of an uptick in scoring. And I guess the other theory of this is in round 6, if he gets the defender dual position, it sort of allows me to get Blackerson back down back. Um, and, maybe like by that stage, Ewan can come up in here and it's a bit more flexibility for the team. And then obviously, if I want to sort of get Reedy into the forward line, that sort of thing, it will just open up that sort of avenue. So, um, yeah, that's the updated team. It's a little bit different. So happy to know what you think in the comments below. Um, I guess I've had drafts where I've had Dacos and Anderson in the midfield and, sort of a more standard forward line. It probably makes sense on paper, but you factor in the buys. Do these guys score a bit more in the first 3 weeks? With those guys having a game off, maybe that's part of the thinking. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Give us a like if you enjoy the AFL content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.